welcome to Wednesday's Right Stuff. I'm Matthew Wright. It's the 13th of May, and I'm going to start this morning's show with some really, really depressing news. It's exactly 15 years to the day since 4 Weddings and a Funeral was released. I don't know about you, but that makes me feel really, really old. The film famously launched the career of Carol Malone's best friend, Liz Hurley, as a professional safety pin model, even though she wasn't even in the film. The best thing about safety pins, I'll tell you, folks, they protect you from pricks. It's also 212 years to the day since the first convict ship left Portsmouth heading for Australia. But there's nothing criminal about this morning's panel, is there? Mark Little, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know anything about your ancestral stock?
I do, yes. I am actually 7th-generation convict. They were... he was Thomas Little. He was sent away for stealing 6 ducats of coal, 7 years in Australia, and he met my great-great-great-grandmother on the boat on the other side, and they married. So it's quite convicty, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very. All from this country, of course, yes, very English heritage.
So he threw you out for nicking a bit of coal?
6... Well, there was a fracas, apparently, and he kicked the merchant in the shins. It says, because you can access the archives now. It's finally been able to get access to the convict archives, and yeah, we're starting to find out a few things about. But it was just coal. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. He wasn't a murderer or anything.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Still stealing, mate.
I know, mate. Yeah, no. He deserved to be sent off to Australia and establish a really nice holiday resort for the English.
Now, yesterday, we didn't mention where you are doing your caveman.
Yes, I'm in Guildford. Oh, good old Guildford. What a town. G'day, Guildford. They came to the party. I've got 3 nights in Guildford. It's very picturesque, a lovely town, and they know their theatre. They've all coming on. They know when they're on a good thing. So I was there, and I got a bed in my dressing room and everything, and a wicker chair and a smoking terrace. I was swanning around like the Great Gatsby all afternoon.
And next to Mark, we had the Newsworld's Carol Malone, ladies and gentlemen. I could see you nodding during that 4 Weddings and a Funeral thing. It's just the time.
Yeah, and I actually used to fancy Hugh Grant. That just shows how old I am. Don't anymore.
It was a great movie, though.
It was a great movie, actually. No, it was. You know, I like all Curtis's movies, though, because they just all have a nice feel.
Well, you've probably never seen The Boat That Rocked yet, have you?
Is it terrible?
Yeah.
Is it real? Okay. I wanted to go.
The boat sucked big time.
OK, we'll go then. Now,
our special guest this morning, Ashes to Ashes star Dean Andrews. There you go. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Now, as old-school copper Ray Carling, Dean's done more time travelling than Doctor Who, moving from the 70s in Life on Mars to the 80s for the latest series of the follow-up, Ashes to Ashes. Is it weird on set going back to a period of time that you obviously know well?
What's weird about it is that it feels quite normal.
That's what I wondered, yeah.
We put all the clothes on and look silly, and it just feels normal. It's just not right. But yeah, we had all the styles back then, and obviously we're recreating fashion as we speak.
Now, we have a sneak peek of Dean in action. This is from next Monday's ep, and it has to be said, he looks a bit down in the dumps. Now, my researchers have played a bit of a blinder here, because that's set in the 80s, and we have uncovered a picture of you as you really were, Dean Andrews, in, I believe, 1981 precise. Have a look at this. You haven't changed at all.
Oh, yes, my friend.
Lovely.
Who could resist that fella? I should have auditioned for Neighbours.
Because you were a singer. That's what, is that right?
Yeah, I did the cabaret circuit for about 23 years. Unsuccessfully, obviously, I became an actor.
And Jane McDonald, I believe is that?
Yeah, myself and Jane, we live about 8 miles from each other, and we did the same circuit for years and years, the holiday camps, the cruise liners, the working men's clubs back home, so I am the male version of Jane.
And I don't know why Mark Little was laughing there, because we've got a photo from you from Neighbours. This is, I think, 88, 89?
Yeah, that would be, mullet, the mullet era. Yeah, he was
chubbier of cheek as well back then.
Was I?
Yeah, I think so.
Who knows? I can't remember what that photo was from. But yeah, I cultivated a mullet for Joe, because none of the other characters had hair. So I thought, oh, I might grow my hair.
We were all asked to bring in a still from the 80s. This is me in 1986. And Carol, we've got this one of you. Here we go, have a look at that. There we go. That'll learn you for not playing a game.
What? I meant to last night, but I thought, well, I don't look much different, really.
Now, Dean, your next role Well, I don't know whether it's the next thing we're going to see, but I know you've just come back from the border of Afghanistan, is that right?
Yeah, we did a film out in Pakistan, and we called Kandahar Break, and we were about 30k from the Afghan border. And at the time we were filming there, 1,000 Taliban escaped from Kandahar prison, and their bolt hole is a place called Quetta, which is where we were based. So 12 Western faces left a lot to be desired, and three of our chefs got shot out there.
So there's shooting going on there all the time?
Oh yeah. Well, we were in bandit country really because of the terrain. We needed to film the terrain, and we got security out there. But you know, there are certain lawless people. It's kind of a lawless place where we were.
Yeah.
And these guys opened fire on one of the. We had these little kind of Volkswagen-y, Beetle 12-seater things, and they opened fire on one of them. Luckily, or unluckily, there were just 3 chefs in there, whereas the other van would have had 12 of us in, and a lot more chance. Thankfully, the chefs were fine after a good stay in hospital, but I think one of us had been killed if they'd have opened an hour. They got the second vehicle rather than the front vehicle.
And I'm assuming no 5-star hotel, pampering and massages in that area?
About as far from it as you can get. We were in an old disused hospital that had no electricity, no toilets, so rocks were very... You had to leave your mark behind a rock that you'd been there, if you know what I mean.
I do.
So, yeah, it was really, really back to basics, but a really good thing to do, you know, because we kind of get a nice life in this, cars picking us up, nice hotels and stuff, so try to get back to basics and give yourself the test,
Get
really.
some insight, I guess, into what boys and girls are facing.
I mean,
out
some
there
beautiful
as well.
places out there and some beautiful people, but also they've got that restlessness as well. So.
And the film's called Kandahar Break?
Kandahar Break, yeah.
I'll keep
and,
my eye
yeah,
out for that.
we're hoping we're just off to Cannes with it next week. So
Oh, yeah.
hopefully, fingers crossed, people will like it.
Okay, and it's true you were at school with James May?
Yes, I know he looks a lot older than I do, but
He does. You're quite right.
yeah, we were at school together. We did a little do.
He told me you were Mr. Popular.
Well, you know, you can say that. He introduced us as that he was the geek and I was the sporty one. But
Right.
he was the intelligent one, basically, and I was the maybe popular and sporty kind of jock type, I suppose.
Done any fly fishing?
Yeah.
We'll save it, we'll just
Yeah.
bore them. We were talking about our Coq de Leon earlier, weren't we? And that raised a few eyebrows.
Yeah.
No, you were
That's a
boring
feather.
everyone else in the green room about fishing. It was like
boring about fly fishing.
it's like a different language.
Nothing at all. Dean, great to have you with us, as
you.
per usual. Great to have you at home. First, though, it's what's making news today. What are the headlines? It's the Daily Telegraph again. Surprise,
Yeah,
surprise.
the Telegraph. Payback time. It's obviously all about these MPs nicking our money, basically. And it's just rumbling on, and whether they should pay it back and how disgusting they've been in taking advantage.
Do you not find... I thought the most extraordinary thing is David Cameron was all over this yesterday, all over it, saying he's going to make his lot pay things back, blah, blah, blah. Gordon Brown has had this problem rumbling on for 5 days. We've heard him say sorry, and other than that, not a peep. It's as though he sort of just handed the initiative to his rival.
It's
I don't
obviously
understand
been going
it.
on for a lot of years, hasn't it, all this kind of thing. And but I suppose in every
Hazel Blear's there,
business...
she's going to repay the tax.
Well, it amazes me. Some of them are
They're
going
all
to pay
writing
like...
checks.
Yeah.
But Hazel Blaze is waving that cheque for 13 grand. I mean, that's just the capital gains
Yeah,
tax
yeah,
that she's
yeah.
That's not all the other stuff, the flipping of the money. She sold 3 houses in 12 months.
Does make you wonder how much they got in their account so they can suddenly write out cheques for
Do you
13
know,
grand.
That did occur to me. I thought,
me too.
when Cameron says they're all going to pay back, I was thinking, well, how? You know.
Some of the prices are like 40 quid. They're going to pay back 40 quid. As if that's what they've fiddled over the last 5 or 10 years, you know.
They've been playing by the rules, Dean. It's
Of
just that they
course
happen to draw
they
the
have.
rules up themselves.
I suppose it happens in every business. I've seen lots
Well,
of
yeah,
people.
but I mean, a business is one thing. People have... I've seen politicians sort of turn on journalists and say, well, you lot all get expenses, but if you work for a private company or a public limited company, it's up to the manager of that company to decide how the money is spent. It's not public money. It's not our money that's being spent, so...
No, you're right, quite
OK.
right.
Anything else? So it's the Lib Dems, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got the Guardian with the Lib Dems have now been caught, and this Andrew George is one of the main people that have been put in the press. He's had a house that his daughter's been living in, using as a bolt hole.
Right.
And so much so that her name's on the insurance policy.
Right.
Because his wasn't allowed to be.
OK. Sadly, Mark, no claims for Birkenstocks or bicycle clips
No,
have
there you go.
come to light.
No. So there you go. We are in dire straits.
Yes. Lembit Opik, though, he got his applied for a plasma TV while technically not an MP, because when Parliament goes into recess at the time of an election, you're not actually an MP. You're waiting.
You know what's astonished me about this with Clegg? Did you know he spoke 4 languages, 5 languages?
Yeah.
I don't care what he's fiddling on. I think, oh, he's actually quite smart, so that's fine. At least we've got one clever one in there.
Enough to fiddle.
OK,
Smart enough
anything
to
else?
fiddle.
Yeah, don't jail burglars if they're on drugs. So it's a bit of a debate. I suppose if people are on drugs and they've got that real need to, they'll do anything to get this particular evil. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're causing lots of pain for people and lots of heartache, and so...
But isn't it crazy that they say don't